Even NFL players screw up on occasion, but sometimes NFL pros do things so cringy that it forever tarnishes their reputation. And these are the most embarrassing NFL moments. Let's get things started with a play so boneheaded that it almost made me think that the NFL should force players to take an IQ test at the draft combine. I mean, Deshaun Jackson was a talented dude. He could run like the wind. But what the hell was he thinking here?
Oh, it is very close. That is close.
I mean, Deshaun, buddy, we've definitely gone over this. To score a touchdown, you need to cross the goal line with the football. And to make matters worse, he started dancing around like a clown thinking he did the whole thing right. How embarrassing. An IQ test might actually be a good idea. Then the Raiders probably wouldn't have humiliated themselves when they drafted Jamarcus Russell first overall. Actually, I don't know who should be more embarrassed about the Russell pick, the dudes that drafted him or Jamarcus himself. See, the Raiders had to suffer through an entire season of dreadful football to earn the first overall pick in the draft. And they used that pick on Jamarcus Russell, a massive quarterback with a brain the size of a cashew. When he arrived to camp, the Raiders coaching staff started to notice that this guy might not have the work ethic they were hoping for when they picked him. So they played a sneaky little trick. They gave him a bunch of blank DVDs to go home and watch. And about a week later, the Raiders were like, "So what did you think about the film, J. Russ?" And he said, "Pretty interesting." Dope. Wrong answer, bud. By that point, I think everyone was humiliated, both the team and the quarterback. But don't worry, Raiders, you aren't the only team to make an embarrassingly bad draft pick. I mean, the Cleveland Browns used a first-round pick on Johnny Manziel, and Johnny wasn't all that interested in a career playing football. He was more interested in partying like a rock star. And the final straw with Manziel came near the end of the season when he went to Las Vegas disguised in a fake mustache, pretending he was a dude named Billy. All that just to gamble? Yikes. Well, Johnny lost track of the time on his bender and missed his flight, so he was nowhere to be seen during the Browns game on Sunday. And it turns out his fake mustache wasn't quite as stealth as he thought either. Plenty of photos of Manziel with a fake mustache surfaced all over social media, and he obviously lost his job in the NFL. Manziel embarrassed himself and let down a whole lot of fans. But at least he wasn't torn a new butthole by Peyton Manning on national television. I'm sure the Jets aren't thrilled with their decision to draft Zach Wilson, but at least he shows up to games and watches film. Still, you wouldn't know it by the way he plays. And even worse, he got humiliated on national television by Peyton Manning, an NFL icon.
Will he reach 25 times?
No, 3 more at the most. 3 more passes to him.
Here's one of them. Oh, well,
There we go. Let's just go backwards. Let's just run backwards.
Wilson really does suck ass, but you really had to do him like that, Peyton? Speaking of sucking ass, I obviously can't make an embarrassing moment video without paying homage to Mark Sanchez's butt fumble.
Then at Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator, you got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit, the ball is loose, and it's alive.
Because this dude rammed his face right up his teammate's ass in a football game and then dropped the football. Then to further his humiliation, the Patriots ran him back for a touchdown. If you really wanted to toss the salad that bad, Mark, you could have at least done it on your own time. Clearly the Jets suck at drafting quarterbacks, but at least they make for good entertainment. And if you love entertaining videos about football players trying to crawl into their teammates' butts, then you better subscribe to DropKick, cause that's where you'll find them. And you'll also find idiots like Daniel Jones who must have been drunk when he made this next play. I guess playing quarterback in New York comes with a lot of pressure, cause why else would these guys make plays like these?
Takes off, and he is gone. Trying to stay upright, and he trips.
Daniel Jones was off to the races before face planting into the turf with no one around him. Somewhere out there, Eli Manning is wondering how the hell he lost his job to this doofus. But the truth is, even legends make embarrassing football plays. I mean, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Well, the greatest quarterback. But the Patriots thought that they could use him as a wide receiver on a trick play in the Super Bowl. And check out what happened.
And now you got to flip back here to Danny Amendola, who throws, and it's Brady who can't.
Yeesh. Maybe the GOAT should just stick to throwing, because I think my grandma could have even caught that ball. But who am I to make fun of the great Tom Brady? He's won 7 Super Bowls in his career, so we could afford to let that one slip away. On the other hand, this next quarterback never even won a Super Bowl and clearly didn't want to that badly either. Because Cam Newton made it to the Super Bowl one time and played against the Denver Broncos. He was having such a good season, he won the MVP, and in the 4th quarter, he had the opportunity to put together the biggest drive of his life. But instead, he did this.
Von Miller against Mike Rivers one more time. Cam Newton didn't feel it, didn't step up,
He fumbled it and then he didn't even try to fight to get it back. How could he face his friends and teammates after showing no heart in such a critical moment? I don't want to call Cam a pussy, but that play was embarrassing. But people make mistakes, and Cam did lead his team to the Super Bowl that year. Other star quarterbacks like Dak Prescott have never even managed to do that. He had a chance to, though. He had 14 seconds left in a playoff game to take a couple shots at the end zone to beat the 49ers. But instead, he did this.
Oh my gosh. Official gets in the way. The game's over. The game is over.
What the hell was this guy thinking? At least give your teammates a chance to make a play. What a knucklehead. It's one thing to forget the time, but this next player completely forgot where he was. The Detroit Lions weren't always as good as they are right now. In fact, they went through decades of embarrassing moments, and none was worse than their winless season in 2008. Can you believe that a team played a whole season making millions of dollars and couldn't even win a game? Talk about embarrassing. But one play that season epitomized the Lions' buffoonery like no other. That clip was Dan Orlovsky, their numbskulled quarterback, completely losing track of where he was on the field and stepping out of the end zone for a safety. A play he still gets reminded of every time anyone sees his face. But we don't want to just rag on quarterbacks. Other guys make mistakes too, even star wide receivers. Check out Julio Jones here. 4th and 7, game on the line, and this happens.
Ryan airs it out all alone. Juggled.
Talk about butterfingers. Then we've got Brandon Marshall, who managed to catch the ball but then generously handed it to his opponent.
Fitzpatrick over the middle. There is Marshall. Wide open. Drops the ball. Eagles pick it up.
Bro, I don't know what sport you think you're playing, but are you completely out of your mind? I guess after playing for as many teams as Brandon Marshall did, you eventually lose track of which team you're on. As bad as Brandon Marshall's embarrassing blunder was, it's not like it mattered because the Jets were getting killed anyway. But can you imagine the ass-kicking Jacoby Myers got from Bill Belichick after this next play? The game was all tied up and the Patriots had one more play to score a touchdown. But I guess Jacoby Myers hates overtime because he decided to do this.
It was inside the 30, flips it back. Stanford band nowhere in sight.
You must be straight up brain dead to make a play like that. Sometimes you just have to cringe when you watch these plays. The Raiders felt so guilty about Myers' horrible play that they thanked him by signing him to a contract. Then there was the time Stephen Tulloch thought he could taunt a legend, and he sure got his karma. Tulloch got into the backfield and managed to take Aaron Rodgers down for a sack, which must have felt pretty good since Rodgers constantly dominated the Lions. So Tulloch thought it would be a good time to do Rodgers' discount double check celebration.
Stephen Tulloch, watch this. That's after he sacked Aaron Rodgers on the last series on a celebration for getting the sack. It looked like something kind of caught or popped or something.
Stephen Tulloch literally tore his ACL doing the dance. And once again, A-Rod got the last laugh. But these guys never learn their lessons. This time, Lamar Houston did basically the exact same thing against Tom Brady, with an identical result.
Garoppolo being rushed. Oh, down he goes. First sack of the game. Lamar Houston. Lamar, let's not go overboard on the celebration.
Just embarrassing. Then you got Mike Daniels, who expressed his jubilance in an unfortunate way after getting a sack.
Mike Daniels is there first, spins him around, takes him down and waits for the cavalry to come. Mike Daniels is excited, but maybe he's a little too excited.
Contain yourself, pal. You're not just a wild animal. You think your teammates are going to want to get in the huddle with you after you pissed your pants? Do you really need adult diapers? I'd give Daniels a stupid nickname like the Wizinator, but it turns out that name is already taken. And that leads us to this next embarrassing moment that is so outrageous that you know it couldn't be made up. In 2005, Vikings running back Ontario Smith got busted at the airport with a device called the Wizinator. For those of you who don't know what the Wizinator is, which is hopefully all of you, it's a fake penis with a bladder. Now, there are only two reasons why someone might have a Wizinator on them. One is for kinky sexual stuff, and the other is to cheat on a drug test. Now, I don't want to speculate as to why Ontario was flying around with it, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's a kinky pervert. Cause the alternative would get him in a hell of a lot of trouble with the NFL. And when it comes to getting in trouble, I wonder what Ryan Tannehill's coaches said after he threw this pass.
Weather can wreak havoc with even the best of players. Just ask Ryan Tannehill.
It's a live football.
I mean, Ryan, what the hell was that, man? I know players make mistakes, but that was an unexplainable meltdown for a guy that spends his entire life throwing footballs. And next up, we have the time the Buffalo Bills decided to play Ball is Lava on a kickoff. I literally don't have another explanation for why they decided not to touch the Jets' kickoff.
No one on the Bills goes to get it. Now Gillislee tracks it down in the end zone.
I doubt the Jets were expecting to kick an onside kick touchdown, but the Bills' simultaneous brain freeze allowed it to happen. And the Bills have a long history of embarrassing plays. These guys really crap the bed when it matters most. In the early 90s, they made it to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost every single one of them. I don't know whether I should be impressed or embarrassed for them, but I know I'm embarrassed for Scott Norwood, because he's become so famous from this next play that he can't even go outside anymore. Keep in mind, this kick was to win the Super Bowl.
We wait. There's a snap. There's a kick. It is up. It is.
There is not a hole in the world that is dark and deep enough for Scott Norwood. But his missed kick haunts the Bills to this day. And this past season, Tyler Bass humiliated himself when he crapped the bed against the Chiefs. The Bills have been on the brink for years now, and they battled Mahomes and the Chiefs right up until the last play of the game. They even gave their kicker Tyler Bass a chance to tie it up from 44 yards out to force overtime. But
Difficult on every 3 plays to make it. Buffalo just didn't have anything easy, no big plays.
he couldn't have at least sent it wide left this time. Yikes. But it's not just Bills kickers who choke. The Vikings have had dreadful luck as well. And in a playoff game against the Seahawks, Blair Walsh, one of the best kickers in the league, choked so bad you'd think he swallowed a hot dog.
McDermott is the snapper. And the kick is no good!
Poor Vikings fans can't catch a break. And Steelers were hoping for a little bit more out of Chris Boswell when they asked him to kick an onside kick. Down 1 touchdown in a rivalry game, the least he could have done is give his boys a chance to recover it. But instead he tried to get a little cheeky.
Ravens respond. That thing went half a yard, then he just drills it down the field.
And when I say cheeky, I mean he made a total ass of himself. Speaking of making an ass of yourself, I doubt the Cowboys envisioned this fake punt play looking like this.
To Wilson, got a long way to go, and he is stopped way short of first down yardage.
Nice one, Mike. Maybe just try punting it next time when you're at your own 20-yard line. But the truth is that fake punts don't always work out. Check out the Raiders' attempt here. They let their punter Marquette King try to take off for the first down. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna get there. He looked like he had a bit of shimmy, didn't he?
Should be ready for the opener. This is Marquette King, rookie out of Fort Valley State, who just killed his first punt.
But instead of going down with dignity, he threw the ball at his opponent like a buffoon and got a penalty on top of the failed attempt. Speaking of lacking dignity, what the hell were the Redskins doing on this next play?
And Smith with a rush will put it up.
First off, they are getting their lunch handed to them by the Giants going into halftime. And to make matters worse, they attempt the most useless, dumbest looking play call imaginable before the break. I bet those guys wish they could just throw in the towel at that point. And I bet this sound technician wished the Vikings stayed in the locker room a little longer, because he got stampeded on like roadkill in Pamplona.
Guy, timing is everything. Linval Joseph.
Yeesh. Talk about wrong plays at the wrong time. And the Saints have had their fair share of bad luck as well. Let's take a look at this pathetic fake punt attempt.
Gillikin, they bring pressure, and they're going to throw it, and it's incomplete.
You sign a quarterback for a reason, guys. I suggest you try using him instead of the damn punter. And let's not forget one of the most miraculous and iconic runs in NFL history. I'm talking about Marshawn Lynch's famous Beastquake run against the Saints in the playoffs. If you haven't seen it, take a look.
Oh, look at this run! What a run! Marshawn Lynch! Still on his feet! Has blockers now! He's dancing his way for the touchdown!
Sensational, right? But one thing I can't help but notice is the Saints' embarrassingly pathetic tackling attempts. I mean, Beast Mode was great and all, but that tackling display has got to be the worst in NFL history. And last but certainly not least, we have whatever you want to call this by the Indianapolis Colts.
Bizarre stuff. I've never seen anything more bizarre than that.
I really can't imagine what the Colts were hoping was going to come out of that play call. First off, the formation was clearly as illegal as it gets, but they also left poor little Griff Whalen out to dry. Maybe the coach just wanted to punish the dude or something, but they gave him no blockers and a snowball's chance in hell at making a play. How humiliating. And there you have it, folks. Those were the most embarrassing NFL moments. If that didn't make you feel a little bit better about your own life, I don't know what will. If you liked this video, please be sure to let me know by hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to DropKick. And if you want to watch more football videos, then I've got you covered. Just click on one of the video links currently on your screen to keep the good times rolling. Thanks for watching and see you next time.